In this video we're going to start to clean up this gearbox in a slightly different way. My friend Jeff is restoring his 110. He's bought a new chassis for it, new doors, new bulkhead, new just about everything, and he brought me his engine and gearbox, his R380 and the 300 TDI for me to have a going over, and I said yeah, sure, no problem. But what he wanted to do was come down here for a couple of days, help me out, clean up bits and pieces. But unfortunately he's twisted his ankle, so he can't come. So the engine's over there. You've seen the 300 TDI before, but it's caked in crap, and it's so caked up in oil and stuff like this that I said you're going to have to scrape all that lot off and bucket it up. You can't just power wash it off on my yard, even though it's a mucky old yard. I'm going to get busted by the council. So in order to speed things up again a little bit, I've got his gearbox here. Now I've just given it a bit of a spray with some detergent to break down the oil. This is a biological type of product which will do some green stuff, I do believe. The casing is extremely rusty, all the mechanism is all rusty. This is a typical Quebec vehicle, you know, they get a lot of rust on them. The linkages are pretty tight. The funniest thing is the transfer case feels extremely nice, so I don't think we've got to do much in that, and that's why I want to get into it today. And what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to power wash this, and then I'm going to sandblast it, because you can see how rusty the casings are and things like this. I usually sandblast the casings anyway. There's my woodpecker. I usually sandblast the casings anyway, but in this instance I think I'll just do it here, and then it'll speed my job up a little bit when I come to put it into the shop. Yeah, I think I'll do that. Now, the engine hasn't got any oil in it, but this did have. The oil in the transmission had some particles in it. But I asked Jeff, I said, what was it like? Did it change gear? What was second gear like? And he said, yeah, it changed okay. He says he just wants to go in over some new seals and bits and pieces. So what we're going to do is, like I say, well, I've got JP on standby to put a bush into this casing, and let's see how it goes. So I'll tell you what, that's this rambling. Let's get on and get the power washer out. Right, before we start, we've got to get some heat into this gun. It is a steam cleaner, but really I think its days of steaming are well over, but it gets bloody hot. And trying to get these detergenty type stuffs and oils off when it's cold, if you've noticed with cold pressure washers, sometimes all it does is just move the grease from one side to the other. This will blow it away. Well, that's got the thick of it off. So why am I steam cleaning it first? Well, I'm going to sandblast this box, as I mentioned. Well, because it's been undercoated with some spray type tar in the past, a lot of tar on this. I want to get it off because if not, the sand sticks to it and it's a bugger of a job to get off. So now we'll leave it to dry and we'll move positions to get to the sandblaster. Now, oh, I've got water all over my camera. It's not good, is it? Now, one of the reasons why I'm doing this is because if we need any parts, I get all my parts from Ashcroft's. The engine parts come from LR Direct. Alright, so bear that in mind. So if we can get a jump on this, it'll be great, and I'll let Jeff get on with his engine later on. That's easy, isn't it? Well, I think so. Let's move up. One nice thing about using the hot water steam cleaner is it dries off pretty quick. But we can see sort of why I'm sandblasting it. You can see the rust on the threads of this nut here. Looks like the speedo's just rusted off. Well, not unless he's cut it off with a torch. The mounting is absolutely rotten. So I want to get as much of that stuff off as I can very quickly using my machine. Oh, I missed a bit of oil down there, but it doesn't really matter as long as most of it's off. And it'll make it an easier job to strip down. Let's have a look at this side. Yeah, it's going to be not too bad. So let me get set up. I won't film sandblasting. I'll just show you it once I've been done because I don't want to get sand in my camera. So that's the first pass, this side. There's some bits I've missed, but it doesn't matter. But it's got that thick of the rust off. You see what I mean? When we come down and have a look at that nut now, you can see how easier it is to get off. Now the funniest thing is, look at that stalking. It's not been stalked over, it's been done here. So as this box been apart again, this you can see it's just rusted off. But it's looking a lot better, isn't it? It's a lot easier to get to nuts and bolts. It's nice to work with stuff that's clean. So let's tip it over and then I'll show you what sand I'm actually using. So there you go. That's a lot cleaner, isn't it? I mean, there are some spots I've missed, but they'll come out with the blasting cabinet. But you can see how easier it is to take that apart. You know, you can get onto all the heads without messing about with rust. It's really important. So that's that. But here I wanted to show you this. This is the sand I used to do this job. It was in my machine. I bought it by mistake because I actually wanted this stuff. This is 2030 grit. It's almost like half a broken bottle. It's very, very abrasive on paint and rust, thick rust. As you can probably see from the finish on here, it's ripped all that rust off. Now, it's okay, but I don't like using it. I like this stuff best. This is 3060. This is the stuff I usually put in my blasting cabinet, and after a few weeks it ends up like this, really super fine. This is the nice stuff to use for a nice finish, and then into the bead blaster and you'll get a lovely finish. But this is what's in my sandblaster at the moment, my cabinet. So then we'll clean up this bit and all the aluminium bits with this, but the thick of it is now gone. So I hope you like that. That's just some of the shitty jobs we have to do here, but I can't see any other way of doing it actually. Poor old Dave Ashcroft must be worked off his feet doing all these every day. Yeah. Anyway, that's that. See you later.